Good morning, it's Mary from Harmony Size Closet here for another small business and sewing vlog. I'm going to start today's video by showing you a bunch of fabrics that I got in the mail from Blue Moon Fabrics, and also some fabrics that I got from Joann Fabric. As you know, they're closing, so we'll chat about that while I'm showing you everything too. And also I got more applique in from Mary Not Martha on Etsy. So I'm really excited to show you guys what I picked up and tell you what I plan to do with them. And then I'm going to dive right into making two different dresses this weekend. I'm going to be making a black one. It's for a Corpse Bride jazz piece, which I'm really excited to see her out there performing it. And then I'm also going to be making a winter green dress that's going to have a lot of airbrushing and stones for a John Legend number. So I'm really excited for both of these dresses. And if you want to hang out and watch me start from the very beginning with cutting the pattern out and cutting the fabric and then sewing it, airbrushing, rhinestoning, everything, then hang out with me for a little while. Okay, I went to Joann Fabric. You guys know that they're going out of business. Very sad. I am very sad. And I wanted to check out their sales and see if there was anything worth buying. Right now, with it being, what is it? It is March 29th. They didn't have the greatest sales. They had better sales when they were going out of business, or before they were going out of business rather. And I'm sure you've seen that if you've been looking up update posts and stuff. The reason I still bought a lot of fabric was because with the vendor event coming up, I need to make a lot of inventory. So I was gonna have to buy the fabric one way or another. So I went and I just checked out what they had. I did find some really great stuff. I found this what did they call it? Arctic fleece. I took pictures of everything so that I could find the same kind of fabrics online if I really like these. But this is super ultra plushy. I think I paid $8 a yard for it, and I bought 6 yards. But I bought this so that I could make leg warmers and headbands with ear warmers. So I thought this would be, it's so soft and comfy. So I thought this would be really great for those. I might use it in some skate soakers too, but I feel like the skate soakers do really well with the terry cloth material because that really wicks away more of the moisture to me. This is more of a warmth and comfort thing. So it gets really cold at some of these rinks, especially in the winter when it's cold outside, and then it feels even colder inside. So I think that this will be really nice. I plan to do some of the zip up leg warmers too. I'm not the best at zippers though, so I'm gonna have to practice a little bit. But I really like those ones for my daughter because if she forgets to put on the leg warmers before her skates, it's no big deal. We just zip them up over top of everything. So that's one thing that I got. I did get some more terry cloth. They were out of everything. They only had light gray terry cloth, but that's fine. I can use that for some of the different skate covers, soakers that I make. So that was cool. I did get some white blizzard fleece. I do use this inside of some of the soakers as well. And white is such a neutral color that I was this is great for everything. It's not really white, it's like a cream. You can see it's like a cream color. So this will be nice for some of those skate covers as well, or even headbands. All right, to the fun stuff. I got the very last of this. I think she said it was called Witching Hour or something. I got the very last bit of it. I think I only got a yard and a half maybe, I'm not sure. So I really want to make some leg warmers and some headbands. And I mean, Harmony is naturally gonna probably want a pair of these. So they're gonna be very limited edition because there's obviously not much here. So, but I just couldn't resist this super sparkly pattern here. That was super cute. These shed a lot of glitter. I feel like this would be great for a prom dress, but I'm going to make this to make, use this to make some also leg warmers, maybe headbands. I don't know, we'll see. I just couldn't resist, so thought that would be cute. I forget how much I paid for all of these. Like I said, the sales weren't that great. And then here's an icy blue version of that. And then I have a gray sweater material. This will be perfect for leg warmers. I think we actually have some leg warmers in a material like this. And I have this, it's like a light pink. It's hard to see. I put it up next to the cream colored one. You can kind of see that it's pink. But very pretty, very cute. Love these. I can't wait to make some like warmers and stuff out of them. And then one other thing that I got, garbage bag. I don't have any bags right now because, you know, going out of business. I did also get these really cute little butterfly pink glass charms. And I don't know if you guys think that this is a cool idea or not. I might only do this for Harmony, but if anybody else likes this too, when I make a custom dress, I kind of want to sew these in somewhere to make it like a good luck charm. So I don't know, I just kind of like the idea of having a sewn in good luck charm. So on the topic of Joann's, I know Joann Fabric, Joann's, whatever, everybody calls it something different. I am super bummed that they're closing because they are my last minute, gotta run for a certain color of fabric source. And I'm really bummed because I checked out Hobby Lobby. I'm not a super huge fan of Hobby Lobby, but I went and I checked out their threads and they do have a lot of colors and it seems like they were reasonably priced for their colors, like $1.99 or 99 cents or something like that for each spool. But I don't know their quality. I don't know like what Hobby Lobby's thread brand quality is like, so I'm kind of nervous about that. I did find an online supplier called Will Walk. Anybody who's like been sewing for a long time probably knows who they are, but I don't because I've only been sewing for like 2 years. I mean, I found them maybe like 6 months or a year ago or something, but I've never actually ordered from them. And like, I guess my biggest concern is now I have to actually think really far ahead about what colors I need when I order materials. Like before, I would just order the fabric that I needed for the costume and then like order the rhinestones or applique. But now I have to actually think about the thread too. And when I checked Will Walk's website, they didn't have like every color that Joann Fabric had either. So, I mean, I'm always open for any suggestions if you know of any suppliers that, like, if you've been sewing longer than me and you're just watching this for fun and you have a supplier that you really like totally let me know in the comments below because I'm still new at this. I'm still growing. As for like fabrics, I know you guys know that I love Blue Moon Fabric. I'm gonna open up some fabrics from them in just a minute too. I love them. That's where I get the majority of my stuff, but I also found some websites called like knitfabric.com that has stuff like this sweatery material and stuff. So I'm sure I'll be able to find that kind of thing on there. And then E6000 is pretty much everywhere. So I'm not super worried. I am bummed. I did really like going to Joann Fabric. My best friend, sometimes she would look up where I was on like Snapchat and I forgot that I had my location on Snapchat. And one time she texted me, she was like, step away from the fabrics. And like, I'm like standing there with a cart full of bolts and I'm like, how did you know where I was? Like, it's just, I'm gonna miss moments like that and I'm gonna miss going and just loading up on fabric that I don't really have any particular plan for, but maybe it'll actually end up saving me some money. So I'll go back again as the sales drop and see if there's anything else that I can utilize, but I think we're gonna be okay. I think that this is gonna be cool for small businesses that, you know, they used to be around a lot more, like small fabric shops, quilting shops, places like that used to be a lot more prevalent in our community. I do remember in the small town that I grew up in Northeast Pennsylvania, there used to be a lot of quilting shops. My mom used to go into them all the time because she would do like cross stitch and embroidery. And I don't really see them anymore, and there's not really anywhere around here. I think the closest fabric place I have to me that's like a small business is like 2 hours away. So I'm of course gonna have an adventure and go there soon. But I think that this will be cool because maybe it'll open up the possibility of other small quilting shops and places like that opening. I don't think it's overall the end of the world. I'm sad, yeah, but it's time to move on. Okay, my package from Blue Moon. I absolutely love ordering from Blue Moon Fabric. They are in California and it is my dream to someday go and see it in person. Although I'm like terrified of airplanes, especially right now. So I don't know when I'll get to. So I ordered fabric for the 2 costumes that I'm working today, and also Harmony's Inspector Gadget costume. I'm super excited about that one. She's doing a showcase. I will definitely be uploading a video of that later on when that happens. She's gonna be like popping out of a trash can and stuff. It's gonna be really cute. So I'm always really impressed by how Blue Moon packs their stuff. Okay, so, oh, and I forgot that I ordered some olive greens too, because there's one of my little girlies, we're already pre-planning her costume for next season, and I saw the colors and I showed them to her mom, and I just like bought them because I know, like, I'm friends with her mom and I know we're gonna end up making it. So to start off with, this is that wintergreen color fabric that I ordered for one of the costumes that we're doing this weekend. This is the mesh. I have to look at the sketch because I can't remember what we were doing, but it's like she's gonna do like a sleeve and all this other stuff in mesh. And of course I always order more skin tone every time I do a costume, no matter like how much or how little I need, because I go through a lot of it. All right, here are the olive greens that I got for my girly. You're not gonna see these ones for a little while, but I wanted to get them in so that we could get an idea of how they looked on her. Perks of being friends with the girl who makes the dresses, right? So this is the black that I'm going to be using for that jazz number that I said I was going to be doing. It's just matte black. And then here is the matte material for that John Legend one that we were just talking about. And then here is the one for Harmony's Inspector Gadget. So I'm going to be making like a trench coat too. Like a character piece, you know what I mean? So that's it for Blue Moon Fabrics. I mean, it's not a super huge haul like that Joann haul, but I love me some good spandex. This is the last unpacking that I have for this video. This is from Mary Not Martha. I've talked about her before in my videos. I ordered from her on Etsy. I'm not a huge fan of Etsy, but I think this is the only place where you can find her. I have searched for her before. I've seen her Facebook, but it all links to Etsy, so I guess she does well on there. I've heard that Etsy doesn't really treat their people the greatest, their sellers the greatest. So if she ever sells anywhere else, I'll link that, but for now I'm gonna link her Etsy. Just realized that she's based out of California too, which is cool. So a lot of my suppliers are from California. I didn't know. All right, so I did have plans for one of these, only one of them, because we were going to do like a Wicked inspired costume for her, but I think she might have changed her program music and I have to talk to her, so I don't think we're gonna do that anymore. Oh, so these are all just like super for fun, and I think I'm gonna make dresses like out of these later on when I have time. So look at this pretty seafoam green one. I just thought that this would be like so pretty, like going over a shoulder or something. I don't really know what I'm gonna do with it, but I just wanted to show you guys anyway. Ooh, look at this pretty red and gold one. Holy cow, like for a Phoenix inspired song, how cool would that be? Okay, these are the ones that I had chosen for Wicked. Like, so the girls are not, I should put some paper behind it or something. The girls are not allowed to have feathers on the ice. And I just thought, like, if you look at the bottom of this, like down here, like that's as close to a feather as you're gonna get with an applique. So I was like really excited about that. Maybe we'll still do it. I don't know, I have to ask her. But yeah, so there's 2 of those because it would be like wings on the back. I got some pretty red ones because red's always like a big deal. A lot of people like red. So we'll just make something for funsies out of all of these, like I said. And if you really love one of these and you need a dress and you want me to make a dress for you, let me know in the comments. Ooh, I love this one. Look at this baby pink one. I love pink on the ice, like pink with a white background. Oh my God, like the ice being the white background. I just love pink, obviously, because all of my business stuff is pink, right? And then I got these pretty baby blue ones. They don't stand out too much on white. Ooh, well, if we make something out of this, we'll really make that pop somehow with like darker blue airbrushing or something behind it. Oh, and then I got these white ones. I like to get some white stuff every now and then because a lot of the times you can dye these any which way that you want. And then I also like to add white to like some really bright dark colors because, you know, if you airbrush, you can really give some dimension, lots of stones or things like that. I don't know. Very pretty. I don't know what I'll do with all these, but it's really fun to buy them. Oh my God. Let's tape that. Fun fact, I posted that blooper to my shorts reel and a teacher commented and said that I can actually get this pattern laminated at Office Depot. You guys know that I'm going to be so on top of that eventually because this is my absolute favorite pattern to use. It's the Jalie Tessa. I will link it as I do in all of my videos. I use it all the time. I hack it for pretty much every single figure skating dress that I have to do that does not have a zipper. Super easy, super beginner friendly. If you're new and you're looking for a starter pattern for figure skating, we've even used it without the skirt as a bathing suit. It's just like an overall really versatile, wonderful pattern to use. When I'm tracing these patterns, I actually really love to listen to audiobooks, and I have to remind myself to keep looking back at my sketches because sometimes I will accidentally not sketch something the right way. I'll forget that like a skirt needs to be 2 inches longer, or I need to do long sleeves instead of no sleeves or whatever. So you guys see me here in the video, I'm actually singing a song at this point. So maybe I wasn't listening to an audiobook. Anyway, I have to keep myself on track, but I also have to keep myself entertained because this is such a tedious part for me sometimes. Yeah, so that's my hack for anyone who wonders how I get through 100 books a year. I definitely listen to them on audiobooks while I'm tracing, or I just jam out to some music like today. Jamming out to music is not the total norm for me though. I can definitely link this tracing paper on the description as well. It's actually patient table paper for doctor's offices from McKesson. So it's actually like the perfect, you know, you can see through it. It's nice and thin. It's easy to cut. Comes like in bulk for a decent price. I think I paid like $40 for like 8 or 10 rolls or something. And one roll lasts like an eternity. I think I've only gone through maybe 3 or 4 rolls since I started sewing, almost 3 years ago. So it really honestly does last a very long time. I think the hardest part about cutting out the paper patterns is just making sure that I don't chop off all the little notches. The notches, if you're new to sewing, are so important because they help you make sure that you're lining up your pieces of fabric properly. You can see here that I actually had to tape something because, again, I probably got distracted and I didn't mean to cut that part. Just trying a couple different angles here so that you guys can actually see everything that I'm doing. Like there's that notch that I was talking about that I have to cut those out and be careful not to cut them off. Super important. Don't skip that step. Here's the sketch of the first one that we're going to be working on. Let's see how close I can get it to my sketch. Fabrics we're using for this one, very simple, a matte black spandex from Blue Moon Fabrics, as well as the black mesh. It's a power mesh, super stretchy. We are going to be doing a detail that goes like down the front in between her chest. So we don't want it to be super revealing. These kind of details always freak me out because I don't want anyone to have a wardrobe malfunction. So I'm probably going to be anxious about this dress until the moment she tries it on and I see that she's going to be okay. I mean, worst case scenario, I guess I could probably figure out a way to put a modesty piece on, or I could even rhinestone a lot over that part that goes down her chest so that it gives more modesty. You know, we'll figure something out no matter what. Another lesson that I'm learning in this sewing journey is to constantly replace blades and needles. I would be sewing a costume and I'd be like, oh my God, why is it so hard to cut this fabric all of a sudden? Like, it's never been so hard to cut fabric. Oh, well, geez, you dummy, you haven't changed your rotary blade cutter in, I don't know, 6 costumes. That's why you can't cut through one layer of fabric. I don't know why I never thought of that before. Or like when my sewing machine starts skipping stitches or doing something crazy and I'm like, oh my God, why do I stink at sewing all of a sudden? But really it's just because my needle needs to be changed. I don't know. Sometimes I just step away from my machine when I get frustrated, and it's when I come back that I realize that it was really just a simple solution and I'm not suddenly a bad sewist. Also, another little fun tidbit here, I totally forgot to check if this was the right or wrong side of the fabric. You can always tell because even on the matte fabrics, there's a little bit more of a sheen on one side than the other side. And I accidentally cut these on the wrong side, and it was really important that the detail was facing the correct way on the front of her dress. And so this piece that I'm cutting out right now, I actually ended up cutting out again later. Oops. Cutting out these brief pieces is always like the relaxing part for me because these parts, they never change. The brief is always the same. It's just the size that changes. I think in the future, I'm going to play around with some patterns that maybe have like a little bit more coverage in the bottoms for some of my girls. I know that one of them had said that that was an insecurity for her. So I'll try to figure out how to hack it so that that covers a little better. And now I'm moving on to cutting the fabric for this second dress as well. I don't always like to work on 2 dresses at once because sometimes my brain just doesn't like flip-flop back and forth the way that I want it to. But I had really high ambitions for this day, and I, for some reason, thought that I was going to complete both of them in just like a 10-hour span, which, spoiler alert, at the time that I'm recording this, voiceover, it is now like 10 days beyond when I recorded this video. So joke was on me with that, but we're learning, right? That's what we say every time we do one of these videos, is that we're learning. We're learning together. I'm learning a lot. If you know me, you do also know that I have a history of biting off way more than I can chew on a regular basis. So this is definitely not out of the norm for me. You see that I had to consult my iPad several times here. This pattern was a little bit more complicated, like when it came to cutting the pattern pieces and hacking it. So I just wanted to make sure that I did the right things. And also, when I show you the sketch later, if I show you the sketch later, I can't remember if I recorded that or not, but when I do, you may notice that I accidentally mixed up my left from my right, and I accidentally made the opposite shoulder the nude mesh from what I had originally sketched, which in retrospect is not like a huge deal for most of my clients, but someday I may come across a client who that's a really big deal too, so I'm definitely going to try to pay more attention to that in the future. Again, we're learning.
Can't forget the scrunchie board, and got to cut out the fabric for her. I'm trying to make a rhinestone scrunchie for every single client. They all seem to really like that, and it's like a fun little add-on. Here you can see that I am getting ready to add the cups to the black jazz costume. This is always like a nerve-wracking part to me, and I'm always really thankful that I have these mannequins and I got them right away when I started sewing, because otherwise the cups might end up somewhere completely and totally wrong. And I always want the clients to feel comfortable and like they're not going to be popping out when they're doing jumps and stuff. Very important to me. Finally, we're getting to sewing. God, that felt like forever while I'm rewatching these recordings, but in retrospect, it was probably only like, 2 hours? I don't know. I probably started and stopped a lot more than I even remember at this point, 10 days later in recording. This is just me attaching the bra cups. Whenever someone wants bra cups, I always do a second layer, but this costume had that mesh layer anyway, so I didn't need to do like a third layer or anything like that. I just need something to attach those cups to. And now I am trying to attach the fabric over top of the mesh. This really stresses me out because I have to make sure that it stretches appropriately over the cup. You don't want to see any of that nude colored fabric popping out from there. And I also want it to lay properly on her as well. So this is just, I don't know. Like I said, those ones that have those cuts that go down the front, they always make me very, very anxious, you know? By the way, I just want to say too, I know that I'm probably not pinning the correct way. I have no like formal training. I didn't go to fashion school or anything. I'm self-taught. I am taking some courses online to learn how to make my own clothing. So if I'm not pinning correctly, maybe eventually I'll learn that. I don't know. But if you're like an advanced sewist and you're watching me and you're cringing, I'm really sorry. But it works for me, and I don't sew over my needles, and I haven't stuck myself in a crazy way yet or anything. So, but if you have, any advanced knowledge that you want to share with me, you can definitely drop it down in the comments. That's cool by me. I definitely love learning from people who know more than me, and I am not above, taking any advice. I know that you guys see me start and stop and trim all the time with the scissors, but I don't want to get to the end of my project and have a million little threads sticking out. So that is something that I try to keep up. You'll also see me get a little frustrated here whenever my thread keeps coming out of that needle. I don't know why that happens to me sometimes. All right, so now we are fast forwarding a few days. You can see there's a slight outfit change here. Like I said, I was overly ambitious that day and I did not get everything done. So now I am returning back and I'm putting together all the pieces for this little green costume that I'm working on. And you can see I have bra cups there for her. You can see in those bra cups sitting there that I have little custom tags made. I put these inside of all my costumes. That way I can write what size they were and how to take care of the costume and everything. Here we go. We're going to start sewing again. I think I actually have on here, so I already have my black thread in the machine. I remember now. I had cut some black scrunchy pieces out and I just wanted to use the black thread before I put in the green thread, just so that, one less thread change. And those scrunchies are going to be for sale at that vendor event that I'm going to be working as well. I am working on packaging up some of the scrunchies too. I want to make those 3 for $10 packs of scrunchies. I just don't know what color to put with the black ones. I was thinking of doing like black, white, and gold, or black, white, and red maybe. I'm not sure. What colors would you want in your pack with your black scrunchie? Like if you had 3 rhinestone scrunchies in one pack and one of them was already black, what other colors would you be looking for? I definitely did my elastic a weird way this time. I don't know why I struggled there. Alrighty, and we are getting ready to sew that green costume. I love this green costume. I can't wait to see what it looks like. The plan is to use airbrushing on it as well as a ton of peridot or peridot, however you pronounce that. Again, I don't know everything. I don't claim to be a genius. I don't know how to pronounce that. And also crystal AB stones. Those are some of the most sparkly, beautiful stones when a colorful costume is out on the ice. They're probably hands down my favorite crystal to use. I just think that the effect that they have is mesmerizing. This is definitely a modest costume. You can see that the mesh detail, even though I used like a whole mesh panel to attach the cups to and everything, it's more modest. Only the one shoulder is that skin tone mesh, which is perfectly fine because it's a younger skater and the judges really don't like to see skaters with a ton of skin showing or revealing costumes or anything like that. And to be honest with you, that's one of my favorite things about making these figure skating costumes and being in the figure skating world is that it really is a modest kind of costume that these girls are wearing in most cases. I know that there are some that are a bit more risque than others, but compared to other sports, I feel like figure skating is just elegant. They cover the girls well. I don't know. That's just my opinion, okay, guys? Okay, getting ready to airbrush, and this is the newest technique to me when it comes to costume design. So I'm a little bit nervous still. I've really only done it a handful of times. I'm using Jacquard textile paints. I will link them in my description as well. And you can see I'm using Smart Water too. I'm only using the Smart Water because it was a bottle of distilled water that I already had. You want to use the distilled water when you're mixing these paints, when you're airbrushing. You don't want anything with impurities to clog up your airbrush. So that's also why you see in the background that filter that I have there. I'm mixing the paint first. So I just use a paintbrush to get some gobs in there. I mix in the water. I want it to be a certain shade. This teal color that I have, this like greeny color, is actually already really close to the costume's color. So as I'm mixing it up and seeing it, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's way too close. So I end up inevitably getting the black paint after I have added more green, thinking that that was going to solve the problem. And the black paint actually made it perfect to go over because I didn't want it to be the same color as the costume. The whole point was to give it depth, right? So that's how I ended up making it darker, just adding a little bit of black. And there's a lot of mixing too. So you're going to see me shaking a lot. You're going to see me stirring a lot. There you go. There's that black that I was talking to you guys about. But you just want to make sure that it's really, really, really well mixed because you don't want to be spraying and like half the spray is green, half the spray is black, right? And when all is said and done too, I just want to say that airbrushing is such like a trust process for me right now because like I said, I haven't done it too many times. Oh, there's my filter. So I'm going to run that paint right through the filter there so that there's no impurities, no chunks or anything like that. It's nice and smooth going through my brush. Anyway, back to saying it's a trust process. I feel like when I airbrush these costumes, they're not really all that great looking right away. Oh, there's the sketch. See, look. See, see, it's the wrong shoulder. But anyway, so I'm looking at this, and the whole time I'm looking at it, I'm freaking out thinking, oh my God, did I ruin the costume? I got to get these sleeves out of the way. I'm going to accidentally airbrush the sleeves because I did that once before on another one. I don't know. I'm so scared that I'm going to mess up like hours and hours worth of work every time I try to airbrush something. I'm sure the more that I airbrush things, the more comfortable I will get. I just have to practice, like, you know, how close to be to it and how far to be away from it and how hard to pull on the handle and how to mix the paints. And I don't know, it's all trial and error for me right now. So I think that's the only thing that really makes me anxious about airbrushing. But see, now I am, you know, heat setting the costume after I've airbrushed it. And let me tell you something, that Dyson, my husband got me that for Christmas, and I do not think that he thought it was going to be such a great investment for not only my hair, which I do think that I have fabulous hair, but also in my future business. I mean, who would have known? I use it to seal lip glosses. I use it to heat set, airbrush costumes. I use this thing for everything, guys. If you airbrush, don't forget to clean your airbrushes too. Sorry, I had to throw that reminder out. So now is the nice relaxing part for me. I throw on an N95, and I really should be wearing gloves too when I'm doing this, but I head downstairs and I sit down and I watch a movie with my family while I rhinestone. And this is honestly like such a relaxing thing for me. Oh, look, I forgot to put on my N95. How dare you, Mary? You're going to have breathing problems later in your life because you forgot to put on your N95. Okay, just kidding, but kind of not. Also, if you're doing this at home, please make sure that you wear a mask. Please protect yourself. Remember that, okay? But yeah, so like I was saying, rhinestoning with my family. I try to get the costumes sewn and do that while my family's all occupied doing other things. And so then we can plan to just like relax together on the couch later on while I do this. And I just feel like that's like one of the perks of having your own business working from home, right? Is being able to be with your family more. I love that I can see this finally starting to come together too. And here's me rhinestoning that second costume. I'm almost done with this video. I really hope that you guys have enjoyed hanging out with me, watching me make these from start to finish. And now I just want to show you really quickly those finished costumes. And if you want to see more of those finished costumes or see them in more detail, please go check me out on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. It's all under Harmony's Ice Closet, and I'll have them linked in my description as well. Thanks again for joining me, guys. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, all the things.